Oh god, oh fuck.
Doing a battle royale, let's go! Chug chug!
Cease thy words, I find them greatly offensive.
Speaking of Chug Chug, I decided that's going to be the new name for my new character in Star Sector. So just,
Amazing.
you know, imagine you're some grizzled, hardened pirate named, you know, Fatal Scar, Ripjaw. It's some guy driving a ship that's got an IFF tag of Sugar Drop, registered to a Chug Jug, kills you.
The embarrassment is to die of. Too bad he's already dead.
Exactly. Chug Jug is just performing a community service.
Indeed.
Alright. Hello, Internet! This is Fanfiction, Contempt Theater. If you've accidentally wandered in here, then I have bad news for you. Sit down, strap in, kids, because it's going to be a nasty day.
Oh yeah.
Gonna be a bumpy ride.
So yeah, as I explained already in a little story in the other two Discords today, I got ready to work today. Got into work today.
Oh yes, this story.
Set up. And then the other employee walks in and is like, "Oh, Sneaky, boss says you can go home. We don't need 2 people here today." Well, that would have been great to know before I fucking got here.
Sometimes it be like that.
Subscribed for 34 months, but only on a 21-month streak.
Yeah,
Cringe.
we live in a society. Bro.
Jesus
I'm giving
Christ,
you
have I
money,
really
you
known
fucking
you for
faggot.
3 years now?
Yeah.
You have.
Oh,
Contemplate
Actually,
that.
4 years.
3.
Yeah.
Nah, 3 years and a few months.
Yeah.
November,
Approaching,
October 2017. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that?
Jesus fucking
Time
Christ.
sure flies, huh?
Anyway, this is Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9004. I'm your host, Sneaky Devil. Let's get on into it. So, you know, I really felt like we were lacking, you know, last episode in quality content.
Amazing.
Wait,
though. Speaking of quality
Okay.
content, hang on.
So,
I'm listening.
because both Max and Atin are both listening right now.
Oh no.
They still
I
haven't.
felt
Sneaky.
like I
Sneaky.
had not been paying enough attention to their preferences as people in
No,
my
really, that's
chat,
fine.
and I found a really good Fire Emblem fic
Oh god.
that
Oh,
we
no.
can read for them.
It's a good thing this won't pain me as much as it will Atin.
So,
True.
we have 2 choices
Such
here.
compassion amongst our friends.
We have the Gamer Grinder Stranger Scrub, and we have Mercenaries, Scrubs,
Oh,
and
jeez.
Level Grinding.
Amazing.
I'm sorry. So I
What?
assume those are written by the same idiot, right?
I can only assume no, because this has got to be a scenario of I was inspired by him. Let's see, published 2019, 3-1. Oh, yep, it's the same guy, actually. Wow.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh,
The
no.
titles were too similar to be
Wait.
anything but the same
Wait,
idiot.
haven't
Oh,
we?
man.
Haven't we done this guy before?
By the way, whose mic is crackling?
Maybe. I don't.
Who?
Yeah,
The name is familiar.
We did the author before, but when we
Yeah,
were
the
going
author.
through his portfolio, I noticed that he had 2 Fire Emblem stories, and I was like, "Oh man, Max would
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
us reading
No.
those."
No, you said Atin would, because Atin had left by the point you found them.
Oh right, yeah, that's who it
This
was.
is the big Fire Emblem Pam. I
Fair enough.
casually enjoy the story and characters.
I see.
I played one Fire Emblem game for the Game Boy Advance. I remember little to nothing about it.
You know,
Aside from the
funnily
gameplay being
enough,
Well, there you
permanent.
go.
of those
Deaths
game
being
types, Fire Emblem and whatnot, the only game type that I ever played like that on the handhelds, all of them, was, I believe it was the Game Boy Advance. That was Advanced Tank Wars 2.
Advance Wars.
Yep, Advance Wars.
Yeah.
Not
Good
Advance
stuff.
Tank. Yeah, Advance Wars is fucking great.
Such an inspired name.
That
Look,
was I
The
honestly
naming
did not
division was on break
understand.
that day.
I still to this day do not understand the story of that game. All I know is
Uh,
really
it's-
big tanks
it's
shot
cracked as
really
fuck.
big guns at each other, and that
Yeah,
that pretty
that's
much
good
just
enough.
satisfied me. Yeah.
That sounds like the
close
perfect
enough.
setup for you.
Yeah,
Pretty
my
much just Ace
child
Combat
me
story,
was
except
very
less cracked.
a child me did not give a shit about the story. I just wanted to shoot large guns at the tanks.
Big
Yeah,
tank.
Yeah,
Gober.
No, it's the infantry that goes burp, because you can get minigun infantry.
I don't actually
Big tank
remember
boom.
anything about Advanced Wars 2 besides the fact that there were large tanks involved and that it moved like Fire Emblem, the old games, with the whole top-down, square-by-square, turn-by-turn architecture.
Same
Yeah.
company, but what if we had guns?
I see.
What
I
if
see.
we were
What if
base?
Fire Emblem
of
had
cringe.
guns?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I
And
mean,
let's
like,
just
what
ignore
if...
the horrors of war too, and like make it like a fucking
Oh god, it was so campy.
like buddy
That-
buddy.
That is like one of the other things that I remember about that game is how fucking campy it was.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
this entire group of soldiers just got wiped out by napalm. Oh, this is
Aw.
fun.
Yeah, the fucking Alamau.
Gee, because I sure am having a great day here in the Advance Wars.
Yeah, it's like Jesus Christ, dude. So anyway,
just
let's
like
find
the
out
fucking-
which one was published first. So this one was published first. It's called Mercenary Scrubs and a Whole Lot of Level Grinding. Being
Okay.
thrown into
What?
another
I hate
universe by the scruff of my neck, courtesy of a god of chaos, wasn't my imagination of a good time. Wasn't my imagination.
I understand what he means. but
I'm
fuck
pretty
him.
sure he's looking for idea,
What?
not
Yeah.
imagination.
Yeah, my idea of a
Oh
good
wait, that's
time, what
right. I have
imagine as a good
alcohol.
time.
Why aren't I using it?
Exactly. There you go. Dealing with shape-shifting warriors, racist bigots,
Based.
and plot contracts isn't fun
Say,
either.
Fire Emblem has a lot of racism.
Amazing.
Good.
Based.
Great story. Thanks, Nintendo. Very
But
cool.
with a lifelong partner or two and the power to live my life like a video game, I might be able to salvage some good experiences from this mess. You know, this
And it's
entire
trash.
summary, this entire summary
Yeah.
is just really awkwardly worded. Like, I understand what he's trying to say with every sentence, but it's just really, it just comes off weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, considering the type of guy who fucking writes self-insert fanfiction to fucking Fire Emblem.
Self-insert gamer
Yeah.
OC Fire Emblem.
Is
Yeah.
Fire Emblem self-insert particularly bad?
I don't
No.
know. I don't
Eh.
actually.
Well, okay,
know
so here's the
Fire
thing.
Emblem.
Okay.
Fire Emblem self-inserts got really bad because starting with Fire Emblem Awakening, they went really, really hard into giving the player. Well, no, actually, I guess technically it goes back to the remake of New Mystery of the Emblem, where they made the player
some of these words.
character important.
Mhm.
Like,
I thought we agreed collectively to never talk about that game.
no, it's a perfectly good remake. It just inserts a secondary character who wasn't in the story before as like this super important person who's like Marth's personal bodyguard. Which, all right, fine, fair enough. But it went downhill from there.
Was this
I see.
after Melee?
Yes.
That would
Yeah.
explain it.
Yeah.
Yes, that in
The
fact does
bigots.
explain a lot.
So anyway, his sequel, which
Oh,
was
no.
Well, no,
posted
but to be
a
fair,
year
that
later.
one's actually Japan's fault because that particular game didn't even release in America.
So he did end up making a version 2 of this, and then also killed it off.
Amazing.
Nice. Good
Well
job.
done.
Yeah, his first story was 55,000 words. The version
Whoa.
2 of this story was only 9,000 words. Some
Tells me there was a lot of
situations-
filler in the original.
Might be. Some situations don't lend themselves to silver linings much. What? Being thrown into a universe full of shape-shifting warriors, racist bigots, And
Oh,
plot
good. We're in
contracts,
We're in the Telly series.
because its Goddess of Chaos said, "Why not?" is one of those situations. Thankfully,
Okay.
I have someone
in
to
this
share my
particular
misery with.
loser's in this particular loser's defense, there
mm.
is in fact a goddess of chaos, and she
Mm.
does in fact do things because she would find it entertaining.
I mean, that's fair. As a god of chaos, doing things because you find it entertaining is kind of your MO.
Anyone who's
least it
played
ought to
World
be.
will
Yeah.
understand.
It's fair, but like using that as your only justification is
Cringe.
really
A
retarded.
little bit, yeah, it's a little cringe, yeah. So it looks like the only things that really changed in this summary, beyond just a little slight change in wording, is apparently a harem member is getting dropped. Because in the first version it said 1 or 2 women, and in the second version it just says partner.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I actually, when Awakening first released and I got my hands on it,
No?
there were actually some really good self-inserts going around the community for Awakening. This is gonna really disappoint me compared to the quality of those other two, which, looking back at them, still should hold up decently. It's a shame that they fucking died
Yeah,
because they hit the time skip arc. It's like, oh fuck, wait,
Yeah.
everything goes to shit. How does my
Yeah,
character
when you
actually
get to-
handle this?
When you get to Fire Emblem stuff, and you're just like, oh, this should work, and then you get to a time skip, and you're just like, what the fuck do I do now?
I would say the biggest problem with
Awakening wasn't so bad because it was a
Oh, this
1 year
fucking
time
thing.
skip.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest problem with Fire Emblem now is they won't commit to like giving you an RPG character. Like they give you choices, but the choices don't matter. They give you dialogue options,
So
but
it's
the
a
dialogue
Western RPG
options
now.
don't matter.
Yes.
Well, it's a JRPG mixed with modern WRPGs.
Like let me be Commander Shepard or don't.
Like, I really don't understand. So I really didn't. So someone posted a joke, I believe, on Arn's server a couple days back, I believe.
Yeah,
Making fun
probably.
of Western RPGs. There was a Merryweather comic, I think, or it was by the guy who
yeah.
does the Orc comic. I forget which.
Yeah. One of
But it was a Western RPG character versus the JRPG setting.
Oh yes,
And-
I saw that.
Yeah, and
Oh yeah, I think it was
I'm at
posted
level
here.
cap.
yeah, I'm level 20. I'm at level cap already. What? Yeah, stuff like that. I really didn't understand some of the references. Like, I'm going to use my charisma and make you my slave, and you're going to give me everything, and this is the peaceful, good option. But actually, because the option involved enslaving you, it made me hyper evil because I only have a morality scale of hyper good and hyper evil. And like, I didn't really understand what that was a reference to, because
I think it's to like overly retarded DMs
There-
in D&D.
Well, no, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
reference to things like
There are
Knights of the Old
num-
Republic and or not Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect and
On Fallout New Vegas
Infamous.
a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
Infamous.
Well,
no,
Infamous
not Fallout New
Oh,
Vegas.
hold on, hold on, no,
They
no,
should
hold
still
on.
consider they still consider the Legion to be the quote unquote evil option in the
But-
game.
Legion is the evil option.
They are the
like,
evil option.
They are the objectively evil option.
They literally go around destroying tech and enslaving women and killing anyone that disagrees with them. I don't know how you can frame that as these are the good guys.
Return to
Like
Monkey.
the NCR is a corrupt, inept, but ultimately well-meaning bureaucracy.
No, that doesn't say they're the
California.
good option
So
either.
liberals.
Like the whole point of New Vegas is there is no good option. Even if you, in the end, were the one who takes over, it's still a legacy that the game makes sure to tell you that the guy who's helping you take over the country is going to help anyone do it. So the second you die or let someone else, figure that little bit out, you're not in charge of the country anymore.
Well,
Yeah,
I would
yes,
argue
man
that
never really is.
all of
well,
them.
there was also the ending where you just fucked off and let Yes Man handle it.
I mean,
Yeah, but then as soon as someone
but
figures
yeah,
out that Yes Man can be
But
commanded
Max,
by
that's
going,
still-
Yes Man, help me take over Vegas.
Yeah, that's still not an option. Like, that's still not a good option, though, Max. Like, that's what my point, though, is there's no good option for an ending. Like, yes, they're all technically, some are better than others. Like, obviously not slaughtering everyone in the town is a better option than slaughtering everyone in the town.
I would disagree from a perspective of survival of humanity into surviving past the post-nuclear winter.
No, but even selecting that option, there are far better choices than the Legion.
Yeah. No, there's literally anyone
The
is
Legion
better
is
than
literally
the Legion.
never the best option.
Yeah, they are
Legion
literally
is
the worst
that is
option.
the only argument I can make for the Legion. Well, at least they'll clean up all the filth, and they will ensure that their species actually survives another century.
But only non-state approved filth. You know, all the state approved filth gets promoted to high positions where they can torture and rape.
Well,
as
that's
much
true
as
in
they
every
want.
faction.
Well, obviously. But you can't then claim that the Legion's getting rid of all the filth, because then I could just say the same thing for any other faction.
Depends on what you define as filth.
Clearly, the NCR is
Exactly.
the worst because they're.
No, I
not
mean, here's the
cleaning
thing,
up
right?
filth.
I usually ended up selecting the
They're
NCR
Californian.
because at least you can make the NCR play nice with a bunch of other factions,
That's
which
true.
ultimately results in the least overall harm.
I mean,
to New
honestly,
Vegas.
House technically is the best option, quote unquote.
Okay, hold on. He's the best option if you believe what he's saying.
Based.
Well, yes, but he's also been the guy that's been planning this for over 200 years, so I feel like he would have a little bit better of an idea of what to do.
I would also argue that you could,
Yeah,
of course, achieve the same immortality and continue to rule if you're a
that's
good
true.
guy.
But again, that's completely player
Oh,
dependent.
hey, you get your brain put in a jar in one of the DLCs. That could be the canon enemy.
You
but
can
anyway,
just leave that brain, by the way.
point being is though, even
You
with
can't.
KOTOR,
Okay, but that brain's a dangerous
so
It's you.
asshole.
it's you.
Mass Effect 2, BioWare had a decent morality system with its good bad choices. And they weren't always like, they were at least letting you know if they were going to be an extreme one. Now I can definitely get the joke, because I also saw a joke recently as well, where I believe it was a YouTube video where it's like, oh yeah, it was a Pro ZD video where he was given 3 dialogue options of like, hey, what's up? I'm gonna shoot you now. And he was like, oh, well, I'll go with hey. And it's like, hey, I have a gun and I'm gonna kill your family. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, what do you say? That was a big
If you
problem.
want to know what I want as a moral system in a video game, Fallout 3, the Herald mission. Every mission's like that. It doesn't even tell
The
you.
Herald mission. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. But no, I did, as I said, I didn't really understand the comic where it was like, oh, I only have the options of being hyper good or hyper evil. I'm like, what game is like that?
The only thing I think that was especially missing from that comic was the game crashing as soon as you got to the ending.
I mean, that's fair as well. I also didn't really understand the whole charming the bad guy thing. I can't think of a single RPG where you can charm the bad guy successfully and they don't end up dying.
Arcanum, I think. Arcanum was definitely one.
I mean, if you remove the stipulation of them not dying, then I can't think of any either. But I was gonna say, but like, I know every single Fallout game literally has an option at the end of charismamancer the boss into giving up.
Right, but it's, I mean, even with, like, New Vegas is a good example of this, but no, you couldn't do that in Fallout 3, and you couldn't do that in Fallout 4 either.
Yes, you can absolutely convince Colonel Autumn to give up in Fallout 3.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the ending.
Well, no, but you can still convince him to give up.
Yeah, but then he dies.
Good.
Yes, as I said,
Right.
if you remove the stipulation of them not dying, I can't think of anyone, but there are plenty of ones where you can charm the boss.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't charm the boss, and I always thought that was a kind of like a cool little thing of where if like you've, like, especially with New Vegas, where you figured out the exact words you needed to say for your comment chain, you could convince the Blade of the West, the Blade of the East to not fight you. I thought that was cool. I just the whole, oh, you have 100 speech, so now I'm your love slave thing. I was like,
That one was.
That just smelled like
you can really
bitching about
feel
the new
their,
Fallout mod.
you can really feel their opinion on Western RPGs from that comic. Is basically what I was trying to say. Last of Us 2. Fair enough.
Oh, a little off topic. Just because when you said Arcanum, it reminded me of these two games, and I wish that we'd had more games like that. Arx Fatalis and something of Might and Magic, made by the same studio.
So I'm really not going to bother reading the first one, but I will read the V2 for us.
Oh boy.
Oh, thank you, Sneaky.
So strap
Very
in.
cool.
And we're probably all going to be
You are a
bewildered.
graceful god after all.
Honestly, I think this is going to be one of those stories where we don't really even know Fire Emblem information to understand how bad this story is. Because I really feel like the author is just going to absolutely fuck up the narrative. And we'll all be able to sit here and
Don't worry. Atin will catch all of it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I would say
he'll be in lots
they
of pain.
picked Satellius games. The plot is not particularly hard.
Or we might have. Before this point in my life, I never really asked other people about the concept of sleep, or heard them discuss it out of a scientific context. Besides stuff like dreams and nightmares and complaints about sleep schedules that you hear around the water cooler or something, of course.
Sneaky,
they have water coolers in Fire Emblem?
What? Oh,
no.
Yeah, the link.
Isn't there yet? Call one of the little down there, Rants.
Well, no. In theory, there's a Fire Emblem character who has canonically seen a water cooler.
Really?
Yes,
He's technically a Russian mercenary. He's Gregor. You might remember him. He's the red-headed mercenary in Awakening.
Anyway,
he's best character.
My sleeping quirks probably aren't what most people would consider entirely normal. Yeah, that's because they're called quirks, you fucking dipshit. Jesus Christ, Max. The education system must be stopped.
Sneaky?
Personal.
This entire education system must be purged.
I've told you my example of why I hate the public education system going forward.
I have quirks. Some people might not consider those normal.
Yeah,
that's the definition!
Oh, by the way, two of these things that he mentions are not unique to him.
Yeah.
I almost never remember my dreams. That is literally not even a quirk. That is literally a staple of dreams.
Yeah.
Except me. I remember them.
Yeah, but that's called lucid. That's called lucid dreaming, though.
Oh, no, I'm not lucid.
Well, no, but let's be clear here. Anyone can be trained to remember dreams. Like, the default is not remembering them.
I know.
The ones I do remember are never lucid. Sorry, vivid dreaming or something like that. There is a term out there for remembering your dreams.
Yeah, I think lucid dreaming, though, is when you're able to take control.
That's control.
So I've been able to do that only to tell people I'm not asleep when they ask me if I'm asleep while I'm asleep.
Based.
It's happened twice.
Fucking Inception.
I'm not even kidding.
I question why it happened twice.
I'm knocked the fuck out.
Do you carry a top with you everywhere just to be safe?
A what?
A
top. Okay.
I've told you guys about my my reoccurring fucking evil within tier level of Inception dream, right?
Not that I recall.
I guess it was just on the SDM. I've been keeping everyone updated on. So basically, for some reason, my brain remembers. I guess I'm going to call them tile sets because that's effectively what it is. If you're aware of how game dev works, tile sets.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, my brain remembers places that I've been as tile sets, and doesn't really remember anything beyond that tile set that it remembered. So it kind of just. It's like, oh, well, this hallway needs to get longer, so I'm just gonna mash another tile set you remembered onto it.
I just have to share this. This was a recent thing that happened that might freak you out a little bit. Had a dream I was driving.
Okay.
and I went across this really long concrete bridge to the city, and I remembered the name of the city when I woke up. Zarand.
Okay.
Never heard of it before in my life.
All right.
Googled it.
Yeah.
There's a place in Romania called it, which is very nice, and a
Very
place in
neat.
Iraq. Neither of them are the places from my dream, but I'm going to have to
Excellent.
visit them.
Yeah.
I think somebody's trying to tell me I need to go to a place called Zarand.
Excellent. You should
You're
definitely
going
go
to
there
Romania.
and tell us.
Yeah, I was just say, go to Romania first. You'll
Of course.
You're more
Anyway,
likely.
Actually, I looked up. I
Yeah.
looked up the pictures of the Romania place. It's very nice.
Yeah, probably.
If you
Not
go to
surprising.
if you go to Romania and look under a certain tree, you'll get a secret item.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
Anyway,
dear.
so as I was saying, so I figured out that this was a reoccurring dream because of a comment I made while I was in the dream. And so basically the generic premise is I'm either running away from someone or I'm trying to find someone, and I'm like, crawling through tunnels that are randomly connected. Like sometimes I'll be running through a hospital hallway, but then I'll enter through a door and it'll exit out into like a fucking section of one of my old job security patrols of
The haunted one.
yeah.
yes.
And sometimes it'll be like a house that I've been in before, or I'll go downstairs and end up in a basement, but then I'll go downstairs in the basement again and I'll end up on a roof, and all sort of like completely nonsensical shit like that. But I realized at one point it was I was somewhat self-aware of what was going on in the dream, because I at one point was having the dream again, and of course obviously the tile sets were re-randomized, but they were tile sets, so they were the exact same still, and I was trying to run away from someone and I was leading someone with me. I was someone was following me while we were running away from someone else, and I had seen a door, and I was like, oh, I know this door, and I know where this door goes. Let's go through here. Because I remembered... Because I remembered exploring that in my previous stream. So I knew where that door went. Like, well...
That lovely.
You memorized the layout.
Well played, Brain.
It's a fucking shame. I can't remember that games we played together. You fucking.
Sneaky has a great memory, except when it comes to games, apparently.
Except when it comes to remembering anything important.
Most people would have these recurring dreams and not memorize layouts, but they would easily memorize a simple map in a game. Not Sneaky. No. Well, not Sneaky. He's the
Sneaky has been
What is
proven.
this-
Sneaky has long been proven to be completely and utterly incapable of memorizing the in-game maps.
In what games?
Any of them?
Any game.
Any-
Hey, nose hair, what does right click do?
Okay. The only
gonna need you
maps
to
I've
step
ever
off.
seen Sneaky memorize that isn't Dota was Left 4 Dead 2. And even
I'm sorry.
then, it was only No Mercy and Dark Carnival.
Yeah.
All the others, he consistently gets lost in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to hold on. I want to take a moment to appreciate the fact that the director of Gundam has vowed to crush all the other animes when he by releasing
also-
more Gundam.
Okay.
Well, he also said that mecha anime is for brats. It's like, yeah, fair enough.
Wait, hang on. You make Gundam.
So anyway, and once I open my eyes in the morning, I will never be able to close them until midnight. Again, that's not
That's
a quirk. That's
Very common,
Yeah.
you idiot.
unless I pull an
Yeah.
all-nighter, and I'm more than liable to have a power nap on the couch. But even then, it takes me a good 15 minutes before I sleep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Only
wow,
15 minutes.
that's
Truly
15
impressive.
minutes?
Only 15
You-
minutes.
I think this
That's just
person is
out there.
basing their sleep patterns off of what they see in video games, where you click A and you instantly fall asleep.
Yeah.
Because
That doesn't happen.
He thinks other people have like the Skyrim Wake menu.
look at that.
That would be a
Press-
badass superpower. Just the Skyrim UI. Fast travel,
Yeah, just-
mission marker. You could write out your own mission. Find and bang Person X, you now have them on your map, and mission
That's-
objectives on how to seduce her.
That's a little creepier, but probably
know.
a good use.
Yeah, very creepy. I was actually talking with Orf about
That's
an
why I
interesting
said it.
idea for a semi gamer story, where instead of making it all about like good power levels, the quirk of this gamer story, it doesn't even have to be you're in a known fandom. You could make it a completely original world because it has no impact on the actual point of the story. So everyone here is familiar with the classic observe skill from every single gamer story in existence, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
It does what it says on the tin. You get to see stats of items and people.
Oh. that's
Sometimes you
lame.
get some flavor
Alright.
text,
Yeah,
depending on the author.
and it's
Do
pretty
you
much
get
the
lore?
staple. What? Lore? Yeah,
Do you get
sometimes.
lore dumps?
That's what
depends on the
flavor
author.
text usually is, yes.
Yeah. That's how it be.
And now it's a staple of pretty much every gamer story out there because they've always, in chapter 1, it's always the person looks really hard at something, and then suddenly it's like, you got the skill observe, and you can now read stats and lore on people.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
okay. Yeah, it's really cringe.
So it's the easiest ability to get in the world.
Yeah. And I was talking with Orf about my take on it, in which you actually just completely remove the observe skill, but replace its function with Bloodborne's insight stat.
And how does Bloodborne's insight stat work?
Well, the more insight you have, the more you notice things.
Oh, right, I remember.
And sometimes,
Also, the more susceptible you are to the insanity debuff.
Yes, and sometimes you notice things that you would rather have not noticed or known. And so just like that's the premise of the story, though, is this person goes in believing that it's going to be one of those gamer stories, and if they just like stare stuff really hard and whatever, they'll get certain skills and whatnot, like observe.
And instead they go completely fucking bonkers?
And instead, the entire progression of the story is that they slowly gain more and more insight, and it's only until a little bit too late that once they reach that threshold of insight where they stop gaining information from people and items and start seeing more than just people and items. And they're like, oh no. But
I
it's
have made
too
a
late
terrible
for them.
mistake.
And yeah, the entire story is just them going progressively more insane. And I thought
That
they would
sounds
make a...
okay.
Yeah, and no big series, maybe like 800 words, not 800 words, 80,000 words out of it,
Yeah.
You get a
Nothing
book out of it.
crazy.
Nothing big out of it. Yeah.
But now we have trash.
Indeed.
Always.
Now that
Are
I
you
think
sure you don't
about
want to tell us more horror stories from your security days and postpone the inevitable?
I probably could, but I will not.
I know. I'm joking. Go ahead.
And then the author's like having this self-aware moment. He's like, well, now actually to think about it, none of my quirks are actually quirky.
Wow.
Where was I going with this?
That was a good
wow.
voice impression. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
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 No way, Tattletale Simulator? Yes. See, the thing about these quirks is that you literally just had a self-aware moment where you admitted that they aren't actually quirks and no one would be surprised by any of this information. And then you go immediately right back to referring to them as quirks. Okay, author. I
Give them
guess...
superpowers.
Yeah, no,
Finish
I
this
guess
time
they
when
only
I
have one
can.
brain cell and they weren't able to rub two together.
He was so close.
He was so close.
Yo, don't insult Ina like that, man.
No, hold on a
Hey,
second.
hey,
Ina
come on.
has way more than one brain cell. We've just established that everything but one brain cell is permanently locked to art.
Yeah, alright, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, did you ever watch her drawing stream where she fucking
Yeah.
played a gotcha game and drew it at the same time?
Who are we talking about?
One of the VTubers.
I did not.
Yeah.
Oh, Gura. Okay.
No,
No. Not
No.
the shark.
Oh,
Ina.
I thought I heard you said Gura.
the squid girl.
No. The squid. Not the shark.
Well, we did say one brain cell, so I understand why he went to
It
girl.
is very
no,
understandable.
Gura has a
yeah.
shark brain. Yeah. There's more than one brain cell, but they're not very fast. Underclocked brain.
No, it's an
God.
undercooked brain.
Same difference.
I wish the power outlets out here worked. Oh well.
The
I'll
only
have to wait for
tests
the
I've
paint to
ever
dry
failed
naturally.
were my drug tests. Oh, that's great. Good for you. Wait, no, hold on.
Fucking great.
Oh, shark.
Were those leaked photos ever confirmed
I have no idea what you're
Of the
talking about.
of the VTubers' actual identities?
Probably not. Who knows?
Some, probably. I don't know.
Oh, you say
I don't
some,
care either.
but who cares? I don't really
Yeah,
care
I
what
don't
they
really
look like.
care.
Yeah. I
My
like the funny
previous
anime
comment
girl.
was
Never
about the
watched
idea of the
anything.
insight system, but I guess it also works for the brief memorialization from the author. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was from the insight system as well. But yeah, it just happens to also work in this
Yeah,
scenario.
you see, he was only pretending to be retarded.
You see, I was only pretending to not be retarded.
Fair enough.
Since the day I was born, those 3 factors of my daily 5 to 12 hour rest periods has influenced my life. I'm not sure you can claim that, author, but okay. You can understand the idea when all 3 of them were nullified. Okay, author.
Huh?
Oh no.
What?
I took it as a glaring red flag that some weird, crazy, insane shit was about to go down. my
If
fucking
first of all, if I had like weird sleeping habits and I could suddenly sleep, I wouldn't go, "Oh, this is terrible." I
Oh
would
man, this is
"Oh,
the day I
thank
die.
Now,
This
let's
is
be
the
clear.
end.
If there's ever a day when like Sneaky's lungs clear up and like he realizes how not to be a jackass,
No.
then he
Yeah.
should be considered.
Be afraid the rapture is here.
Definitely have a moment of today is about to go to hell. If I ever wake up and I find a gun and ammo on my nightstand, then I'll just be like, all right. Well, okay. So today's the day shit happens.
We are going down.
It's a little note card, for you.
Little note card. You will require this.
Lower left hand of the corner of the screen. Now saving. Do not turn off the console. So, oh man, time for the boss.
Uh-oh. It's the
Game's giving me
IRS.
ammo. That means shit's about to happen.
I would say no, even better. You are about to enter the end game. You will not be able to return to this point.
Yeah, right.
Would you like to make a save?
Now that's another great one-shot idea. Of one day you wake up and you go to leave your house, except you get a screen that pops up in front of you saying that, and it's just like, what?
Uh-oh.
No, like the best version of that would be maybe call your parents first.
Is that a reference to a particular video game?
No.
A lot of video games that are semi-linear.
I know. I'm asking about the call your parents first thing, like kind of
no,
reference to like
no.
a Earthbound.
Oh no,
type
that's
game.
not a reference to anything in particular.
That's
Just
your
like
thing, call your parents.
I got you.
Yeah.
But no, I think
some
that'd be
of us
an
have-
interesting little one-shotty idea, maybe 5,000 words worth of it.
Like if there's a game that you save by calling your mom, like in Pokemon Silver and Gold, except
Oh well,
You
I
save?
mean the
Oh, that's right, that was a thing, wasn't it?
I mean that came from the Mother series.
Yeah.
gotcha. So maybe call your parents first. That's why that would make sense.
Yeah, maybe. By all accounts, the day should have been normal. I woke up. I ate breakfast. Toaster waffles doused in chocolate syrup. Wow, that is...
Ew.
Ew, God.
Ugh. That sounds kind of fucking.
You deserve to
American.
be isekai'd.
True.
No, he doesn't. No, that's too good of a reward.
I suppose. But, I mean, hey, the only downside about being isekai'd is usually you get sent to a world that does not have running water
Oh, yeah.
for sewage.
But there's usually some kind of water magic.
That is true. However, you could always end up with having a negative affinity for water magic to, offset some sort of OP ability that you get in exchange.
You know what? I want to see one where the downside for getting your super OP magic is you can't use the cleaning cantrip.
Ah, yes. All cantrips are beyond you.
You start the game with 9th level magic. You may never learn cantrips.
That's fantastic. Or maybe you're just not able to be clean, or like you're vampirically vulnerable to water, and you can't eat or something like that.
What are you,
and you're just
Corone?
miserable. Huh?
Said, what are you, Corone? Allergic to soap?
Don't know who that is?
Soap. Ah.
Another VTuber.
Yeah. She got jump scared by soap.
She accidentally jump scared herself. But what she ended up looking at, what she believed was the jump scare, was a bar of soap.
Okay, why was she like overacting?
She was playing she was playing a horror game and she worked herself up a bunch.
Was it RE7 or no? I thought it was RE7.
It might have been RE7, yeah.
I don't fucking know. I've just seen the clip.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Who was the VTuber that said gamer word or almost did? That somebody
There's
just posted? Oh, that's on a different server.
That's
like
all
no
of the
fucking
Japanese.
clips of
That's
Japanese
like literally
VTubers.
every single Japanese VTuber that's played GTA.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sharing what I
there's
hear,
literally a multi-series compilation of how many Japanese VTubers have dropped the
gamer word.
the banned words.
That spicy gamer
The
word.
spicy words, yes. Negative
Also,
water
who was it
affinity
that was
makes me
giving me shit
imagine
for
water
drawing
tries to
gamer
kill
words?
you.
Somebody was giving me shit because my portrait drawing practice today, a few of my portraits
keep
were
that
of
outta
gamer
here.
words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about that on stream.
Or Max might ban you.
Yeah, again.
Then when I
He's
lie
done it
down
before,
on the
he'll do it
couch
again.
to see if I held up my iPad, I held up my iPad to see if I had any new Discord messages. Wow.
What?
You don't use a
We truly
computer
are living
for
in
that?
society.
Which, oh, by the way, iOS is banning Discord.
Not
Why?
quite. So Discord is adding an NSFW server-wide tag.
Yeah, but if
Which
any server
means that
has
server-
NSFW in it, it's banned from the iOS tablet.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you won't be
Oh
able to
boys, we're gonna
access them
get banned
on
from the iOS tablet.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
horrors.
All those Apple
Yeah.
users that won't be able to join us anymore.
Yeah,
All those
I've already
Apple users that aren't
threatened
shitlibs.
every Apple user on my server with getting deleted.
Annihilate half the server.
It's only like 5 people so far.
I'm okay
Well,
with
guys,
this.
thanks.
more.
You kept me entertained while I painted, but I
Very
gotta
cool.
get going.
Later, man.
So,
Later.
have a great night, everyone.
Intermediate amount of time later, he randomly heard a voice, and he's like, "Oh man."
Indeterminate. Well, I
Intermediate.
suppose they could have written intermediate, but it
Yes,
should
it
be
is
indeterminate.
I probably should mention that while I don't think I'm as bad as some people, I'm not much of a morning person. Fun fact about that, by the
Wow.
way. I did actually kick the shit out of someone one day in school.
Amazing.
And when the principal was like, "Why did you beat the shit out of this person to the point where you had to send them to the hospital?" I said, "I'm not a morning person." He's like, "Ah, okay."
Yeah, you know.
I mean,
Mornings
State
to
of
be
New
like that.
Jersey.
Yeah, the absolute state of New Jersey.
I was gonna say, I think one of my personal favorites is I am not a morning person for the first minute. Usually more like 2. For the first 2 minutes that I am conscious, I am not a morning person. After that, I'm perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. I did also have a case of one time my cousin tried to wake me up by touching me. And no, not like weirdly, like
That's
not on the shoulder.
I've watched enough. I've been on the internet long enough to know where this is going.
He touched me on the shoulder to shake me or something, but he didn't really have the time to do anything beyond tap my shoulder, because according to him, I spun around while asleep and fucking haymakered him across the face. Because I woke up about 5 minutes later And there he is on the floor nursing this giant welt on his face.
Whoop.
I'm like, what the hell happened? He's like, I tried to wake you up. I'm like, oh yeah, don't do that.
See, meanwhile, the correct way to awaken your brother is to do what I did, which is to stand right, creep into the room silently,
No.
get right next to the bed,
No.
cock your elbow firmly outwards,
Yes.
body slam.
Yes, of course.
He didn't sleep through that.
I mean, my dad has in fact flipped the bed on me before to try and wake me up. And
Yeah, but here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Forcing all the oxygen out of someone, that'll wake them up real quick.
I mean, yes, but you also have to keep in mind that my dad is like built like a brick shit house, so it wasn't a lot of work.
Kill you.
But no, apparently I got out of doing yard work that day because he flipped me out of the bed by turning the mattress over, and I just kept sleeping on the ground.
It's like, well, he's earned it, I guess.
And he apparently shouted at me for a while and then checked my pulse to make sure I was awake, and he was like, alright, well, fuck it. He's not getting up.
Well,
I was like, alright.
and I have to throw the towel in on that one.
Because he tried waking me up at like fucking 7 in the morning on a Saturday. And I'm like, nah.
How old were you?
Like 17.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
If you'd said like middle school age or something, I'd be like, yeah, no, you don't do that. But high school, your body should be adjusting to that, no problem.
To adjusting to what, no problem?
Getting up by like 7:30 on a Saturday morning, whether you like it or not.
Oh, no, Max, I don't think you understood. I slept like 20 hours of the day for my entire time in high school. Yeah, that included all of the time I was in the school. Yes.
No, of course. That wasn't even in question.
You got about the 4 hours.
Watch that.
Mhm.
Watch that be the only thing
Yeah,
that has gotten you to this point in life
it's possible.
without keeling over and dying.
It's entirely possible, yes. I was quite actually infamous for how frequently and how hard I would fall asleep in classes. To the point where some of my teachers just flat out gave up on ever trying to wake me up during the class. And one teacher tried to use a water bottle, and that didn't faze me at all. So, you know, I'll give her A for effort, but it was a little bit weird waking up at the end of class. Like, right as the fucking bell rang, too, I was just like, alright, I'm awake, pack all my shit up, and walked out. But, like, why is my face all fucking wet? And apparently the teacher was like, what the fuck? He's, like, snapped awake the second the bell rang.
I mean, that's just Pavlovian training.
Exactly. What else do you think I'm gonna do for those 20 hours I'm sleeping besides train myself on how to sleep and wake up? I employ it at my current job. I love it when there's no cameras pointed at the desk I'm sitting at. Because you can't prove that I was sleeping, because every single person that's ever come into the room has seen me awake. Yeah, so someone's trying to poke him awake, and he's like, oh, wow, I'm being poked awake. Quit acting like a lazy dragon, and I go, wow, that's racist against dragons.
Wow, what a weird thing to say.
That is kind of really out of left field, I will be. Why?
Like,
bro,
Lazy Dragon isn't like super out of left field, but like,
no.
Why would it be fucking racist though?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is the whole like, oh, don't be racist. calling dragons lazy. That's some extra credits to your logic, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Not my best work, but I just woke up.
I'll drink to that, bro.
How dare you? If I wasn't stuck in this dumb thing, I would smack you. Wow, they really jumped to a solid 2 on the 10 scale of Karen.
What?
How does he think 10 scales work? And what does a 10 look like on his scale?
Yeah, I'm really...
That's a good question.
My
Like the average
lids
Karen.
cracked open, revealing a blurry image of my retreating limb, a mess of blue and a whole lot of black. Try me, bitch. Let's throw hands. I mean, I would
No,
probably
thanks.
be more amused by this author if he wasn't such a fucking piece of shit. Like, that's a good line. If it wasn't backed up by everything around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in a vacuum, maybe that's a decent line. In the context of this piece of fucking garbage, though.
Oh,
boy.
you, they, or rather she.
It's
Okay.
absolutely fucking disgusting.
Went out producing the most petulantly frustrated groan I've ever heard.
Holy
Blasted,
fucking Christ.
lousy, rotten sack of idiot bones. Why do you
Jesus
have
Christ.
to be such a jerk, huh?
What's a sack of idiot bones?
I'm...
Also, what is this, like...
I'm not really sure what this byplay is supposed to be.
Also, I don't know who this is supposed to be, but, like... I'll admit, I haven't fully beaten, Radiant Dawn. But this is not Yoon, Goddess of Chaos. Not remotely.
Blue blob, blue flames, looking medallion. I don't know, because you decide to insult me and yell at me instead of waking me up in any other way. And you're one to talk, you're just a hunk of metal. I could pick you up and chuck you. How else was I going to get you to open your eyes? I'm a medallion. And I'll have you know, I'm really hard. It's really hard being inside it. It's all cramped, and I can't move, and I can't hear, and I can't see or feel. I can't even talk.
Bruh.
Hang on, run that by me again. You can't talk. No, of course I can't. Do medallions talk where you're from? No, but you just told me you can't talk. Yes, I did. You just told me that you can't tell me anything. Yes? What's the problem? I mean, again, is this funny byplay? Yes. Is it funny byplay in the context of this story? Not particularly. There's this thing called punchlines and, you know, the humor, pacing, and whatnot, and the author is lacking all of it.
Nothing unusual on this show.
Honestly, yeah, not unusual. I really feel like he did himself a disservice by doing the whole narrative right at the start. I feel like if he started right off with this whole wake the hell up, you know, lazy dragon, like from that point on, and that's what he started with for the story, I would probably be actually chuckling at some of these jokes. But because he decided to start off with that really weird narration rant about how quirky he was, that he would fall asleep and sometimes remember his dreams, really just kind of, you know.
Yeah, that pretty much ruined his shot on this show. Not a great way to start a story, at least not a fan fiction.
You said you can't talk, but you're talking. Oh yeah, that must be pretty confusing. Understatement! I muttered under my breath. Why? See, this is what I'm talking about here, where you're getting negative value on the humor. So would you care to explain? Oh, well, I guess you deserve for me to explain things to you. This is gonna be an exposition dump, isn't it? What? Nothing, never mind. Forget it. I knew about her story anyway, I didn't need to know it. Waving it away, I directed my attention towards a finery, blah blah. Please keep it as brief as possible. I'd much rather have the Cliff Notes version of your life. The what version?
Yeah.
Say what again?
This kind of fucking
What?
retard.
Fucking
He's trying to go for the funny
dialogue.
fourth wall break.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well,
That
no,
sure
it's not the
is
fourth
funny.
wall break.
No,
He's
it's
trying to do.
it's
He's trying to do
pop
genre
culture.
savvy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Sandwich. I
that's
consider
just-
it close enough to not really care. Pretty much
Genre
the same
savvy
thing.
mixed with pop culture reference. Yeah.
Uh,
And say what again? Except in this case, it's actually not funny at all because the scenario in which you're saying it is not funny. He's referencing Pulp Fiction.
Damn.
Yes.
Who could have seen this coming?
Well, again, why is it whenever someone tries to be funny, usually what they reference is Pulp Fiction, except the way they use the reference makes it not funny? Is that like the only movie that not funny people watch?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Not usually this irritable though. First things first, introduce myself, blah blah. You see, I was a reader, a very avid book reader. So like right here, again, medallion, I should introduce myself, and then it just goes fucking breaks out into this random ass narration about how much the author loves reading books.
Holy fucking shit.
And so basically the character is just talking in the background. Yoon, by the way, the character's name is Yoon. Does that mean anything, Atin?
Yeah, no, Yoon is the goddess of chaos.
Okay.
Okay,
Alright.
so in the Teleus universe,
Uh-huh.
there was the god of order and the god of chaos, and
Right.
the god of order was like, "You are a problem, so I'm locking the god of chaos in a medallion, and the only way this seal will ever be broken is if the flames of war engulf the entire continent."
Whoops. That was kind of a bad thing to put
Yeah,
the seal on. I must admit.
that's not a great
Yeah, that's
milestone
a
thing to that.
real bad condition.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but you got to understand this is pre-industrial revolution fantasy Europe. A world war is
Yeah.
nigh inconceivable.
30 years war. The 7 years war.
100-Year War.
100 years war. That was just being in France, but especially
But
the 7
no,
years
no,
war, because I was actually on like 5 continents. So
but
eat
it
my
wasn't
ass.
all of them. The requirement
no,
is
literally.
literally all of them.
It wasn't literally all of them.
No,
So-
he's
No,
he's
I'm sorry. Let me
talking-
rephrase that. Was there war in
Biting.
every corner of the world?
Yeah. In the 7 years war, yeah.
All right. So anyway,
Then
point
yes,
being,
that
is,
was
Also, the Romans versus Persians.
is apparently
probably.
this is a OOC
Every
version
part
of
of the known
Yoon,
world.
who is
Yeah.
just randomly
Yeah.
given
Oh,
to the
okay.
author.
I don't think Fire Emblem cares about it being the known world.
I mean,
Just
it's a
thought from the
distinction
start.
you have to make.
Yeah,
And
not
the
with
narrator
God.
goes on about
really.
how much he loves fan fiction, and how much he reads fan fiction, and how much he's absolutely obsessed with the self-insert style of fan fiction.
Holy shit, get the
And,
life.
Wouldn't notice.
He's really jacking off to the whole concept of his own story. So, yeah, that's the thing. As the goddess is apparently going on this soliloquy about who she is. I read a lot. I'm really super genre savvy when it comes to self-insert stories, especially gamer
Really? Then you think you'd write a
stories.
better one, author?
Yeah, I know, right? A lot of the insert stories, or at least the poorly written ones, but that's irrelevant.
No, author. I would say that's very relevant.
It's actually the most relevant thing that's possibly in this story so far. Started off with the protagonist finding them in a void. Yes, to be inevitably greeted by a being. Yes. What's happening right now? I was in a black expanse being greeted by the goddess of chaos. Oh no, what's the reaction? Did I say it wrong? No, you didn't say anything wrong. I just know what's happening. And what's that? Oh, well, you see, blah, 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 blah. Wow, you correctly guessed everything that's happening. Oh no, my genre savviness hasn't led me astray yet. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I'm just a great researcher and I know shit. And she's like, oh, okay, you just know shit. All right. Now, anyway, so blah, 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 blah. He pulled me from Earth, convoluted, typical god, blah, blah, blah. Something happened in the world, jeopardizes, maybe blah, blah, blah. Classic cliches. This time, however, she was like, nope, not at all. So I got it wrong, or you don't need me. The second one, so you don't need me. Why am I here? Well, because I'm the incarnation of chaos, and I'm doing it for the Elamals. And you're like, oh wow, you're telling me that you forcibly ripped me away from my life and everything that came with it without my consent to throw me into a world where I don't matter at all on a whim? Yep. Wow. Just to let you know, next time I see you, I'm going to punch you in the face. How are you going to punch me in the face? I'm a medallion. Oh, believe me, by the time I get to you, you will. And the medallion was like, well, okay. Anyway, I came across this other thing, and I'm going to shove it into your soul now. The tiny little digital file cabinet drifted over for me to take, and I took it. Because why would anyone ever refuse a digital cabinet floating in the midst of an abyss?
What?
I plucked it out of the air, and at a glance, it didn't look anything different from a flash drive. All it read was Anna and Sisters. Of course, it'd be the ones marketing stuff like this. What the fuck is Anna and Sisters?
Okay, so in the original Fire Emblem, the shop merchant was called Anna, and it was on the original Nintendo, right? They couldn't afford more than one sprite, so and for a while they just kept reusing the sprite. Eventually, this gave rise to the joke of, oh, me and all my twin sisters run shops, right?
Right.
Nurse Joy.
Yeah, Nurse Joy. Whatever, the police woman.
Alright, so basically the
Officer
author
Jenny,
of the
last
story is taking
And they just kept it. Well, no, because they did eventually, like, I hate to use this word, like, they did eventually canonize
it,
the
yeah.
joke.
Still, that doesn't change the fact that the author is taking a fandom in-house joke and is making them apparently omnipotent beings capable of granting the gamer system to people.
Yeah.
Okay. Wanted to make sure we were clear on this one.
I was gonna say the closest we've ever gotten to that is there was a Fire Emblem game that involved some dimension hopping nonsense, wherein the money obsessed Anna was like, I can make so much money with this. She has red hair, unfortunately, for your joke, Arn.
Shame. Does she have a long nose though?
Anyway, so yeah, blah 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 blah
Sad.
blah blah. The gamer system is being installed in me. Do you know what happened to you? Yeah. I know what happened to me. I have the gamer system now. Blah 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 blah. Oh no, I got stuck with the chaotic neutral dumbass who can't tell me anything about the gamer system. Well then, are we done here? Yep, we're done here. Goodbye, bada boosh. And
Amazing.
yeah. So that was garbage. Honestly, the only thing that was interesting about this is how he got the gamer system. And by interesting, I mean it was a little bit original. Not very original in the source of it.
Slightly refreshing.
Yeah.
I suppose.
But it's so much just garbage packed around it. It's just like, this could have been a funny chapter if you didn't lead with an Amy Schumer tier level of humor at the start. And this could have been a funny moment if you didn't have absolute garbage surrounding it. And this could have been a funny moment, like, oh, I'm so fucking genre savvy. Literally 2 seconds later, the genre savviness fails him because he was too busy jacking himself off about how genre savvy he was that he didn't pay attention to the person explaining how the genre that he thought he was in, he's not in.
No. Amazing.
Like, at least you have to save that sort of punchline for the next chapter. Like, oh no, why isn't this anything that I thought it was? I should have paid more attention.
Ooh.
Wow,
Oh, no.
Joke payoff.
I'm stuck in a grave of my own making.
Bing bang
Oh,
boom, yeah. Instead, it's like literally, it's like, oh man, I'm so genre savvy. Oh no, I'm not genre savvy anymore, and then we're moving on from the joke.
Oh no. Anyway.
Yeah, just like, all right. Okay. Now, some people might be able to guess why the author no longer updates this story.
Gee, I wonder.
Indeed. So, I think we're gonna do StarCraft My Hero Academia. How do you guys feel about that?
That sounds like
I'm
a
disgusted.
garbage idea. But sure.
Excellent. So this is called The Hero's Overmind. And I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
Izuku becomes a brood queen.
Yep.
Okay, now here's the question. Is the author actually going to commit and make him go through serious mental problems by becoming a brood queen, or are they just going to make him the Overmind?
The author should commit something.
I mean,
and you
yes.
see the author is very edgy and committed to the post-irony humor, as he has the words stock photo as his book cover, for what it's effectively is. Well, you can't really say. Well, you might be like, oh, Sneaky, your thing is called Two Idiots and Thunder, and you have error picture not found. That's actually witty and clever, but it's not post-irony.
It's
I'm making
post-meta.
Yeah, it's a meta joke, which is close to post-irony, but it's not quite as lame as post-irony.
Indeed, it was only half as lame.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not gonna say it's not lame. I'm just saying it's just a meta joke. The hero Overmind. Izuku has what seems like a simple quirk, but its potential is beyond anything the world has ever seen. Can Japan handle this new power? Can
No.
Earth? So this story is still ongoing. Updating. Last update was 3 days ago. 23 chapters, 78,000 words with 700 favorites.
Oh boy.
Mr. Aizawa, it would be unwise for you to go down there, Izuku says, grabbing his teacher's arm before he could engage the villains. Midoriya, you can't be a hero with only one trick. That's not what I mean. Tactically, it would be better for you to stay within sight of us students until we leave the building. And let them catch us as we retreat. It would be better to distract them here. What? Then let me be the rear guard, or more accurately, my quirk. I explained earlier that I have considerable reserves in a method of transport. Let me show you what power I hold, and release the endless waves I have prepared. I see.
Oh, thanks.
Your idea does have merit, Aizawa ponders. Yeah, that's the normal reaction to a student who's like, let me unleash the endless flood upon these planes. Maybe.
I read a little bit ahead. Apparently, his quirk manifests 10 years prior to when he hits UA.
Yes.
Amazing.
Where would he hide the amount of creatures you should have by this point?
Oh, obviously underneath the ground, where no one ever checks.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
they
it's not like there's a
dig-
bunch of seismic heroes.
They can dig up trash.
Yeah,
The sewers haven't been checked for the last 5 years. Everyone's too scared to go back down.
Don't you know, like, they never dig sewers. There's no trains. There's no water lines in Japan.
course
The
not.
Now, I'll say this, Sneaky. I'll say
Japan's
this.
definitely not on a fucking fault line.
Now, Sneaky. Here's what I'll say to that. Let's pretend you're Joe Schmo, the sewer worker.
Yeah.
And you're digging a sewer line.
Yeah.
And you see
Yeah.
a Zergling.
Yeah.
Are you gonna think I should lay off the booze?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you gonna try to tell the superheroes that there's a weird creature you've never seen before in the sewers?
Well, first off, I'm gonna bash its brains in with whatever power tool I'm currently using. Then I'll probably call the supervisor over and be like, "Hey, boss, there's a funny-looking dog down here. I killed it."
Sneaky, you're Japanese, not a hillbilly in this scenario.
Hey, don't judge. All right, he could have said no to go.
They could have been like, hiring out of country.
Yeah, it's just on that worker visa.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get a impregnation
Working
visa.
vacation. Oh yeah, of course. Did you get at least a tune in on the Naruto exam though?
Did I get at least a
Did you get at least?
Yeah.
Oh my
It's from the
That's
April Fool's article Sneaky was referring to.
Yeah.
You have to get at least a tuning on the official Naruto examinations.
Oh god! You have to pay
Or you won't be
$500 if your visa expires without impregnating someone.
Yeah. So that's fucking great.
Oh god. No, wouldn't that be a weird, strange trip? I end up in Japan, but end up staying in Japan because I got a job as a construction worker. It's like the fucking most random ass job I could ever possibly end up with, just somehow across the entire goddamn world.
It's certainly a very you thing to do.
Just one day,
Or
be like, hey man,
anyone
I'm in
here,
Japan
yeah.
now.
You'd never survive in an office job, so that really would be your.
Oh god,
Yeah.
I tried having an office job. Remember? I tried having an
Tried?
office job.
Oh, I remember. It'd be even worse in Japan, though, with the way their office culture.
Oh,
is.
I know. I would probably have to be solely hired on as a consultant / loud American.
Oh
who's-
yeah, no, you'd have to be the.
Whose only
You'd have to be the
job
loud
is
American
to
that says no.
offer trend analysis and to tell the boss that he's wrong about whatever idea he just came up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that that's
You'd
an
be good at that,
actual unironic position is
Well, it's sort of like an
an
unofficial
interesting
position.
thought to me.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's
not really
an unofficial official
It's-
position.
Yeah, it is a saying like, "Oh, you're the American in the office." Like that is interesting.
tell
That
him
is a
he's
saying
wrong.
I've heard. Yeah, there was a game studio. I don't remember who it was. Like, yeah, it helps having an American in the office who will look at the boss and say, "You're wrong. This is why you should do this instead."
Yeah, I wish we had that more in America.
Unfortunately,
I wish we could get some Americans
just-
in those offices.
Unfortunately, all those jobs are going to Mexicans. So it's a shame, isn't it?
They pay them
I mean,
in raw
I don't
pesos.
know, I don't know what kind
I
of
have
Mexican
no
individuals
idea
you've
what
worked with.
inner city Americans you're talking to, Arn, but I'd love to meet them.
Yeah,
It's called a joke, you fucking moron.
It's a bad joke if you have to explain it.
I'll also
uh,
send some to
not
call for
retarded
help.
people.
Izuku pushes. Wait, why do you have to push for that? What has it?
Teacher,
just do it.
Teacher,
They
you
can't
can overwhelm them with
in an
ability
numbers.
to call for
situation, you know.
help. It's like, oh,
It's a normal
okay,
Thursday,
well, I'll
man.
consider it. What?
Well, first of all, he shouldn't even be asking. Just send the links.
All right, Izuku.
Go.
Unleash the swarm. Everyone else stay together. Head for the door. My pleasure, Izuku says, positively bubbling with anticipation as he sends the command.
I want to point out that, like, the number of Zerg he has, if it's being called a swarm, he could have taken over Japan by now.
Oh, probably, yes. So anyway, so there's a shaking, the ground shaking, and everyone's like, oh man, they're coming. And the villain's like, ha ha ha, you fools, no help is coming. And then the earth explodes, the giant Nidus worm explodes out of the ground and starts shitting Zerglings.
Wait a minute, you have a Nidus worm, but you've stuffed it with Zerglings, sir.
Yes.
I hate you and your build order. It's
Thank
bad.
you.
No, really, it's bad.
Too bad.
So where's your army, Sneaky? Walk across that bridge and you'll see real fucking quick where my army is. Oh, God. We lost that game, unfortunately, but, you know.
That's because your build is bad.
No, hold on, man. I got a nod of acknowledgement from the people that beat us. Because they were just like, you know what? We were not expecting you to have mined the entire bridge. We thought you would run out.
What game is this?
StarCraft.
And you just mined an entire bridge.
As the Zerg in StarCraft 2, you can evolve your Zerglings into a unit called a Baneling. And honestly, it's not worth it at all. It costs valuable resources you could use to make way better units.
Well, no, let's be clear here. It depends entirely on the enemy composition if it's worth it.
Well, yes, that's true. But because it dies after it explodes, usually your army is left at a significant numerical disadvantage if it doesn't work exactly as you hoped.
Well, I would say if you don't...
spend
Let's be clear. If you aren't good... let's be clear. If you aren't good, Banelings are a terrible idea.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, like pros do, Banelings are a fantastic unit.
Yeah. And I'm not saying they can't be. I'm just saying there is, for typical players, it's not. It's basically a monkey's paw for your typical player who doesn't really understand resource management or Baneling use. But I had spammed playing Zerg for like 2 years straight, so I knew how to use that shit. We ended up losing because they were building up a battlecruiser army, and we didn't find it because they were building it in a different section of the map because Terrans.
Unfortunately, Banelings do not go up.
Yeah. But what happened is we were on a specific map that was the 2 player positions, and the only point on the map that connected the player positions of each team was this giant bridge, and I had mined the entire bridge with Banelings. And so he had this giant death ball that was marching across the bridge, and my team was like, do it. I'm like, nope. Gotta wait for his other army. What do you mean his other army? And then his friend's army comes in, and there's 2 giant death balls on the bridge. I'm like,
now we do it.
Bang! Explode, fucking map erupts, and they're like, oh.
Please tell me it was the kind of explosion that on like older systems it would have locked up the computer for a bit.
It lagged my computer, Max.
Yeah, that's not hard though, because you lagged yourself out of my server when my server was run off a shitty laptop on Left 4 Dead.
Well, that's because the explosions were client side. I didn't know, Max. I didn't know.
Sneaky committed.
What's fun is that was the first day. That was the day that Sneaky discovered that you could copy paste in Valve's console.
No,
it's also the first day I learned that.
Paste in Valve's console. I found out that if you put a semicolon after a command, it basically was as if you were starting a new command line.
Yeah. So, very
And
interesting.
So I also figured out that if you entered the word flame, it would spawn a Molotov explosion on you. And so I was flying around the map, spamming 36 flames every second.
Yeah.
His goal was to crash my server. The server lasted longer.
Yeah, because turns out the server doesn't do any rendering.
Oh. Yeah.
No,
Makes
the
sense.
client sides do the rendering. So
I mean, why the fuck would the server do the rendering?
Because I'm dumb.
Fair enough.
yeah, so, as outdated as Source is at this point, there were some like good design decisions on their part. Because I easily could have seen an older Source game trying to do the rendering server side for whatever fucking reason.
No, to be fair, WoW does server-side rendering.
Ooh.
Ugh.
For a long time, WoW did server-side rendering, and they then switched to... and this was actually a big problem because what basically happens is the client tells the WoW server what their position currently is, and how much unit distance they have moved. Then the WoW server renders it and sends it back to the client and says, okay, you can now move, and then the client renders that movement and you move to the new location the server provided. And the code was actually pretty good, all things considered, in terms of efficiency and whatnot. But the issue is that because it was server side and because the server was relying on the client to relay positions and movement before doing anything with it, you could hijack the connection to the server and insert your own manually entered coordinates. So when the server says, where are you now? You say, traveled 0 distance, now at coordinates blank blank, effectively teleporting you. And this was a huge problem back in the day when people figured this out.
You don't say.
I don't know if they've started filtering their stuff since then, or I don't know. I haven't been into WoW for a very long time. I think they started moving to a more client-side rendering since then. Because there was issues with lag now, where you would think you would hit someone with an ability, and then it turns out actually they hit you with their ability.
Ah, yes.
Mhm.
I'm familiar with that problem.
Yes.
Hmm.
So, what the fuck is that? Am I going insane? Because I don't think that's actually the nickname.
What?
Nope. It's not. As
It's
far as I know.
That
No, it's
T
not.
No, that T
It's
should
misspelled.
not be there.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, Kachan, not Kat-chan. Okay.
Yeah.
Move Deku, lunch money, Deku, blah, 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 what the hell. So Deku throws up a larva, and they kick the shit out of Deku anyway.
Based.
Because they're like, okay, well, that was useless. All he did was puke out a larva. Which, I mean,
True.
fair enough.
Yes. It turns out it's very disgusting.
And then the kid he was protecting is like, oh, wow, thanks for trying to help me. Neat quirk, I guess. It's very powerful. And he's like, I don't know about that one.
Oh god, wait, is that for one fucking Harry Potter spell?
And
Or you throw up slugs?
yes. And then the purple-haired child's like, all right, well, bye. Like, this is the weirdest. Like, well, I'm gonna read the dialogue out for you guys. Thank you for helping me. It's what any hero would do. You got powerful quirk. I don't know yet. This is first time using it. Well, I gotta go. Thanks again. Bye. Like, this This is fucking like
That's a fucking conversation,
Some
alright.
dialogue, all right.
this is fucking Oblivion tier dialogue
Yeah.
going on. That's a very nice quirk. Yeah, Mom, isn't it cute? It sure is. Does it do anything? I don't know. Evolve, evolve, evolve. The voice beat in his head, and Izuku stared at his insectoid pet, thinking about evolving. Suddenly, the creature explodes into a bubble. Oh, that's neat. What's it doing? Evolving.
Okay, so
Your son's holding this fucking bug, and then the bug explodes into a pulsing ball of flesh, and you're just like, oh, what is it doing now?
That's cool. Neat.
Okay.
Oh god.
Okay. A few seconds later, the bubble bursts, and another creature comes from it, and it's a drone. Oh my, it's quite big now. Can it get bigger? I don't know. Maybe he knows. The creature nods. It can get bigger. How big? How big? Inko
What?
asks. The creature proceeds to
What
float.
is this conversation?
The creature
Oblivion.
proceeds to float across the entire park, around 100 meters. Let's keep it at this size for now. I'll take you to school. I'll talk to your school about giving you a week off, and then we can go to the countryside. Yay! Izuku cheered.
We're taking you to the farm, Izuku.
Taking you to the funny farm, Izuku.
He's going to the funny farm. Where all the little comedians go.
That's gotta be the best joke from her, honestly.
Yeah. At least about like a recurring catchphrases.
Oh, they'll love you at the funny farm.
You thought it was funny to spam in your chat.
Oh, God.
Oh, you're going to the funny farm.
Ooh, I'm spamming in chat. I'm funny. Oh, yeah. You'll be joining your friends at the funny farm.
Oh, good.
I think my
She's
favorite
here
part
with
is how
some,
salty she gets during it.
Oh, Andros,
As-
don't
as
worry. The
she's-
writing slightly improves. The story does not.
Ain't that good to hear?
All right, Izuku, your grandparents owned this land, but since they died, I'm renting the land to the neighbors. This forest, though, should be private. Let's practice your quirk. Okay, Mom.
I'm going to throw
Why
more
did you let your
slugs now.
creature evolve again while you practice? If he tries to name his firstborn child, I'll have a heart attack. Okay, creature, evolve again. Creature moves away and evolves again. Well, good thing we didn't do this at the park, Inko said, fascinated by the rapid growth. Meanwhile, Izuku was focused on activating his quirk. I don't think pain could be a trigger. That wouldn't make sense. Well, no, pain would make a lot of sense to trigger a lot of things in your body, so...
Also, it was first triggered by being punched in the guts. I wouldn't really
Yeah.
toss that idea out just yet, kid.
Izuku continued going through a series of feelings. I like how Izuku is such a master of his emotions that he can call upon any feeling that he wants at any point in time without issue. And it's just capable of fully understanding, actualizing, and realizing that feeling, and then being able to understand that it is not, in fact, the feeling that calls upon him throwing up more drones.
That is astounding for a child. I am
Yes.
jealous.
I know, right?
Amazing.
Mhm. It's quite impressive.
Don't worry, Izuku. It took me weeks to figure out how to pull things to me. How do you do it? Well, I just imagine a floating hand and I pull it like it's on a rope. You imagine a hand? Yes, a magic hand, with my mind. Maybe I should imagine what I want.
Maybe
instead of
Inko
trying
needs to go to the
feel
funny
it.
farm.
Inko goes
Probably,
to the
yeah.
funny farm. You should try whatever feels right.
Guys,
okay, Mom,
the new
I will
twist
try
of My
that.
Hero Academia. Inko was quirkless the entire time and she hallucinated.
Inko actually was secretly practicing the ancient mime tradition and has been passing it off as her quirk this whole time. This bit of dialogue here is something else. Maybe I should imagine what I want instead of trying to feel. You should try whatever feels right. Okay, I will try that. But first,
Okay.
we eat. But Mom, I want to try my quirk. No buts. You cannot think on an empty stomach. The next morning, Izuku woke up to try his quirk. But when he snuck out of his tent, he saw a massive fleshy structure. Mom, wake up. Creature finished evolving. That's wonderful. There's more creatures now. What? Inko shouts, instantly awake. There was more creatures now. We're gonna have to think of a name for him, Izuku. Larva.
Done. There
Creature
are more
says they're
creatures.
called larva. Can Creature tell you more about himself and about his species? He can't speak, but he keeps chanting Zerg and numberless as answers. Oh dear, Inko says. That's it.
I hope that's because she's a fan of StarCraft 2 and not because of the word numberless.
Let's do this one. Harry Potter Avengers.
Oh god.
3 whole stories tonight, gentlemen. I'm spoiling you.
Yeah, I prefer if you didn't.
Please never do this again.
Yeah,
Oh,
please
that's
stop.
You spoiling us is horrifying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just encouraging him.
Harry Potter and Avengers Cross. Oh.
Oh no.
Hmm.
This should
Why
be an
does this
adequate
look
amount of
familiar?
alcohol. Huh?
I try to figure out why this. I think the tile is just something I've seen on other fan fiction. Because I definitely don't go strolling around Harry Potter crossovers.
Well, we can tell in a second, Max.
I already looked. It's not been posted here before.
Well, there's a lot of things called Road to Power. Oh!
Oh yeah.
Mao Zedong!
Uh-oh. We got a Maoist fucking fanfiction author.
Road
Wouldn't
to
surprise me,
Power,
really.
Road to Power, Road to Power, Road to Power. That's a lot of Road to Powers, but what we really need is fan fiction. Oh no. Why is this in the top results? Oh
Wait,
no.
first one is
You see,
fanfic.
Sneaky.
The third is fanfiction. It has 2. It's
You see,
taking 2 of the
Sneaky.
3.
Sneaky.
Oh no.
It's like the time that a bunch of weebs got anime Nero to replace real Nero in the search
Oh.
history.
Well,
that
there's
was
one.
great.
Naruto and Ruby.
I did like that. That was good. I
Okay.
found that highly amusing. I also did like the that one
Curious.
veteran
What
airman's
can you
response to the fact that someone had created an anime about him.
Yeah, Chuck Yeager. Someone made him an anime girl. And he asked, does she have the biggest hits?
That was like, okay. Does she have the biggest hits though?
The man of culture.
The man knows what's important.
Indeed.
If I'm gonna be an anime girl, I gotta be thick.
It's true.
I feel the whiskey flowing through me.
Crippling alcoholism.
Not crippling. I'm not an alcoholic.
It's not crippling yet.
Yeah.
It'd be crippling in a normal person.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. That's kinda.
Road to Power. When I died, I was quite sure that hell was all that waited for me. I definitely didn't expect to wake up as Voldemort's son. What?
It's an escalation.
Fuck.
Well, that fucking escalated. Holy shit.
Ooh, we jumped.
Alright. I didn't expect to wake up as Voldemort's son in a universe that shouldn't exist. As opposed to being Voldemort's son? Like, okay, look, so if I say die, right? And say I die, and then I wake up, and I'm like, okay, first off, pretty sure I was dead, like, 2 seconds ago. Second off, who am I now? If I'm not me still, and I'm saying, like, I don't know, I wake up as fucking, I don't know, Princess Henrietta from Familiar Zero, right?
Mecha Hitler.
Wake up as Mecha Hitler, very funny. I wake up and say, hypothetically, Princess Henrietta from Familiar Zero. My reaction to such an event occurring wouldn't be, this universe shouldn't exist. It would be, why am I Princess Henrietta?
Yeah.
Close box. Immediately close.
And this is from Andros.
Yeah, man.
I
wouldn't be really concerned whether the universe exists or not because I'm in it. I would be more concerned about the body I currently have because that comes with a lot of questions that I'm not sure I want the answers to.
Yeah, I don't think Andros sent him this.
No, I don't think I sent this.
It's not on the SDM, has never been posted there. So
no, it's got a high favorite follow rate, which means it's likely a sourced from Zeeks.
Ah, yes.
I don't know if I don't know if we should read this.
Too bad.
What's the rating on it?
So many opportunities ahead of me.
Okay.
I definitely won't die again.
Save.
Wait, why should we not read it?
I don't know. You have to ask out. I was just curious what the rating was because if it was him,
Yeah, it's T.
probably a good idea to not.
Well, at least I will try. Info about updates are available in my author profile.
Thanks, I don't need them. Fuck you.
Hello, everyone. As you can see, I decided to release a completely new story. Normally, I would have never done this, as I already have 3 active fan fictions, but this idea was stuck in my head, so I decided I had to put it on paper. I mean, that's fair enough, but you could always refrain from posting it.
Weakling.
Why do I have breasts? Sneaky upon reincarnating. No, honestly, I would
Followed by 5 minutes of silence.
No, honestly, I would
as
not
Sneaky
want big
investigates.
tits. I would no. A no. B, I would not want big tits. I just.
Oh no, I didn't say big.
I know. I'm just responding to someone else's comment of saying like, why are my breasts the biggest? I would not want big tits. No, that is no matter what universe I end up in. Big tits are a pain in the back. Literally.
Sneaky is a member of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee.
Well, hold on. I never said itty bitty. I want something a little bit out of the range of a washing board, okay?
I see.
Respectable size. Not, my breasts are so big, sometimes people think they're watermelons, you know? Don't want that. It's not okay here.
Fair enough.
Sneaky is not a lolly. No, I'm definitely the exact opposite of a lolly, in fact.
Yeah.
Pretty sure my man boob size is also, in fact, larger than an A cup. So, the opposite of a lolly. In every way.
Probably. Yeah. You try not being fat.
It's called muscle, my dude. Have you ever seen
man boobs muscle?
The man boob muscle? Have you not seen that? Have you seen
No, I've seen it. It's only from people who fucking get cracked up on steroids, my dude.
I don't know, man. I don't think that my grandfather is cracked up on steroids. I think he's just a farm boy.
No, he's from Jersey. There are steroids in the water.
I mean, that's okay. You know what? That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Does Sneaky ara? I mean, if I had the voice for it, I probably would at least once.
Yeah.
Please never say that again.
Yeah. No.
Please never say that again.
Yeah, you're bad. You're bad.
Stop.
Be gone. I have mail for you, Sneaky. It's from Ted Kaczynski.
Oh boy, what flavor?
Check your meme channel. You're welcome.
The fuck?
Trade offer. You receive mail.
Bruh.
Indeed. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. This is a crossover between HP and MCU timelines will be adjusted, and some past events will have changed. I mean, fair enough. The fact that you're waking up as Voldemort's son will tell me enough that the past events have in fact changed. But
Yeah.
see, this is what I was talking to Aura about on multiple occasions.
Why
where
we're
you
talking to Aura?
change both of the original universes that you're now crossing over to the point where effectively they're not really the original universes anymore. And well, understandably, Marvel is a lot more flexible in this because they have in fact canonized the AU universe being a thing. Harry Potter less so. And typically when people come to read a Harry Potter story, they come to read a Harry Potter story. Not always about Harry Potter, but typically about Harry Potter, doing Harry Potter things in Harry Potter. Or, and if it's a crossover, adjacent universe, doing Harry Potter things, and people being like, wow, he's doing Harry Potter things in the not Harry Potterverse.
Amazing.
That's typically how crossovers of those types go. And I don't really understand why you would ever put so much effort into rewriting two separate universes, then colliding them and writing the alternative universe that spawned from that as well. It just feels like a shit ton more work. Like, I can understand rewriting one single universe, like, oh, I think Gundam Unicorn should have gone like this instead. It's like, oh, fair enough, you know what? Fine. But, if you're like, oh, I think Gundam Unicorn should have gone like this. Also, it's a Fire Emblem 3 Houses crossover, but with my alternative spin where there's 7 houses. It's like,
But why though?
right, exactly. It's like, but why, at this point, why are you even doing, like, why don't you just go write your own fucking story?
Literary masturbation. Learn to jerk off on a page, see what happens.
So yeah, I can
Please
only
do
see
not do
questions
this.
about Marvel Cinematic Universe. No, I'm not adding anything outside of Marvel Cinematic Universe. At least so this is another major problem of the Marvel section, is that a lot of people, due to the amount of AU that goes on in canon Marvel, a lot of people don't, and speaking of as authors, don't really stick to one universe. They're like, oh,
Amazing.
well, Squirrel Girl's not in Marvel Universe yet, but I'm going to add her latest comic run to it, even though it contradicts the stuff that's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Or, other stuff like that, or Iceman being gay and shit like that, where it's like, okay, I guess, but it just contradicts stuff that was already established in other sections, because they're all separately running, I guess, time streams, I guess you'd call them. And especially in this day and age, where the timelines only go about 2 to 3 issues before getting canceled, as Atin could probably go on to an entire podcast about, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And they then get rebooted instantly with some details changed, and then they only go for 3 more issues, and they get rebooted again with more details changed. And so the author tends to try and fill in the blanks, quote unquote, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with currently running comics. But those currently running comics are such fucking shit shows that they don't fit, and usually ends up ruining the story anyway. So, hats off where it's due. Kudos to the author for being like, nope, the only thing in here is going to be the MCU. Which, I mean, isn't great in of itself anyway, but, at least they're sticking to one universe.
Yeah.
This is the intro chapter, meaning it's going to be shorter than usual. Thank God.
Amazing. A blessing from the Lord.
Such an interesting process that no one really knows much about. Actually, we know a lot about it.
Yeah.
First, all your organs shut down.
We know one thing about it, and it's gonna happen to you real soon.
Yeah, unfortunately. How could we, if the people who experienced it are no longer with us? It's this magical thing called autopsy.
Yeah, and
It's
brain
a
scans,
very
things like
innovative
that.
medical science where you cut the dead thing open to see how it died.
So,
It's a revolutionary thing, just got announced yesterday, so I don't blame the author for never hearing about it
yeah,
before.
new dying just dropped.
New dying
You gotta
DLC just dropped.
Yeah, you're gonna go get the dying merch.
Just check out the Redbubble link in the YouTube description below, and you'll see all our dying merch.
Remember to hit like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, smash that like button.
Also, this episode of Your Afterlife is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Please shut the fuck up immediately.
Imagine you die and it's just like, this episode of You're Dead, sponsored by Ridge Wallet. Thank you, Ridge Wallet.
Thank you to Honey.com for sponsoring this life.
No. Honey.com's fallen out of favor. It's all about Ridge Wallet these days. NordVPN, ExpressVPN, Skillshare, and Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, wait. There are a few other ones too. Oh yeah, fucking the Big Daddy Unlimited with all the gun tubers. Also the Dude Bag.
I don't really watch GunTubers, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, fair enough. I watched a few. Demolition Ranch, Banner, a few others.
Fair enough. Scientists could do as much research as they wanted, but they would never find out what a dying person thought and felt right before death. Actually, author, you're wrong about that too. Because we've had several people who have officially died and then were resuscitated successfully. And, you know, time periods of like, oh, we're dead for a second or so. No, like 15 minutes. I think the longest is around 15 minutes that someone's been able to be resuscitated from total...
Was there a black guy who said God has Timberlands or something?
Yeah. Now, obviously, brain death makes you hallucinate some weird-ass shit. But
it's almost like there's an entire movie about that.
Yeah, but it's funny. We actually know what happens when you die now. You hallucinate some weird-ass shit.
Who could have seen this coming?
Wow!
Revolutionary.
There's another, maybe not long-running manga someone could do. I'll be willing to sell the rights to this. Just give me royalties. It's a story about a NEET who nearly got isekai'd on his first isekai event, and as he was about to accept the isekai in the void given to him by, you know, Death God or whatever, he actually got resuscitated successfully. And now that he knows that he'll be isekai'd if he dies, he keeps trying to set up events that would cause him to die, and each time he gets saved. And that's the entire premise of the story.
Based. Funded.
Funded. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Oh, look, the emails are rolling in. I already got a web novel. Oh, light novel deal. Movie deal.
Yeah.
Someone's making a game out of it already?
Oh, shit. That was fast.
God damn.
I just wanted a Neko.
I just wanted a cat girlfriend.
Nah, just a Neko.
They would never find out anything. They would never find out what exactly happened to a person after they departed. Well, you die. I realize this might
really?
be a little bit, obscure, but people tend to
How?
die when they die.
People die when they're
they are
killed.
killed.
Yes.
Yeah.
As for what happens after they die, they're dead. Nothing happens.
The void.
The body is dead. Now you might be like, what about the show, Sneaky? What about the ghost? Well, there's a lot we don't understand.
Yeah.
How our brains work is actually one of those things. Turns out our brains operate off of fuck you quantum mechanics that we still don't understand to this day, really. We thought we knew for a long time about how our brains worked, and then scientists were like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, we know some things.
These neurons aren't actually talking to each other. They're just creating static electricity, and that's somehow talking to the static electricity over here. And we have no fucking idea how this happens.
Amazing.
Because that's the thing. Now, you might be like, Sneaky, are you reading conspiracy theories again? It's like, no, the whole, put this, metal headset around your head and control the drone, making go up and down by thinking up and down at it really hard. That whole thing. We can't really do any complicated things with it, but we can make the drone go up and down and shit.
Well, just yet.
That's because, that's based off of the research that proved that we don't actually think by one neuron shooting electricity at the other neuron. We actually think by a bunch of neurons shooting electricity at each other, and the ambient charge they generate is actually what we consider thought. And that's why those metal plates can read it. Because it's actually reading the ambient charge and not the neurons transmitting, which is just wild if you really think about it. Because another thing that was also Max, I introduced this to Max. I've said this before a little bit. Plants use quantum physics to fit more chlorophyll on their leaves than is physically possible. Plants are literally larger on the outside than they are on the inside.
Yes, I've expressed great disdain for plants after verifying these facts.
And the best part is the chlorophyll was found to be geometrically equidistant from other chlorophyll, in a very precise manner. So it's not just cluster of chlorophyll. It's no, it's literally all of the chlorophylls at exact same distance away from each other. It's
that is
plants. Well played. Well played, you bastards.
So when do we start making our computers based on plants?
We already tried that. We tried making a computer based on slime mold. It's actually working out pretty well. But we found that just making a computer that can compute in maybe actually works a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
yes, no, or maybe.
But
The 3 states.
Can we get? Are we still working on tricking, the sand into thinking with lightning that we captured?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I still think that's cooler.
That is very interesting as well. Yeah. I mean, that just proves that you can animate anything with enough energy.
It's true.
Which makes me really uncomfortable to think about, as I am just a sack of fat that is electrocuting myself, controlling a bone golem covered in meat armor.
You're a fucking goop mech. You're the goop pilot of a meat mech. That's what it is.
Goop pilot of a meat mech.
Am I wrong
So
though?
what you're saying is a human is essentially a mini Gundam.
Yes.
A meat Gundam.
A meat Gundam.
You are the brain in the meat Gundam.
Mundum, if you will.
Well, we already have those with
Mandem.
Evangelion and AOT, so.
Now, where do you think
Exactly.
they got the inspiration from that?
You
Let's see,
specifically.
blah blah blah. Most of the world's population believed in one of the many religions and thought that after death they would go to their respective afterlives. Others think that death was the final end and there was nothing after. Just some just lived their lives without caring about death. Me, currently, I was pretty sure the second group was right. I mean, how fucked would that be? Pretty fucked, to be honest.
I suppose.
But, like, what if the afterlife you experience is actually, in reality, just the fading quantum state of your mind, conjuring up the final moments of your life in which,
That's not an impossible scenario. Yeah.
as you fade away,
Your brain like hallucinates.
yeah, your
time
brain
freeze.
hallucinates heaven and hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me really. I've heard weirder things.
That was last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. I died young, no older than 25. Well, you made it farther than a lot of peasants, so.
Based.
Definition
Peasants
of your
be
good. I
careful.
wasn't a definition of a good person. Maybe not by choice, but I didn't really care after the few years of dealing with the darker parts of the world. That was what I had to do, and there was no escaping it when you were as deep in the dark depths as I was. At least my
bro.
life wasn't boring.
You're
I had
so
a lot
cool,
of free
dude.
time.
You bought drugs once, damn bro. Real fucking tough guy.
You've Silk Road once. I went on there once.
Yeah, I was in the dark depths of society.
I saw the dark things, man. I heard of a red room.
Yeah, I once watched a 15-minute
I
dark
looked at
web
the
video on
URL.
YouTube.
Yeah. I watched a 50-minute documentary on YouTube about it.
Yeah. So I've pretty much been there, done that.
Sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
The Raid Shadow Legends is secretly the dark web.
I mean,
where they get
it
all
is
their
made by
but
the
for real
Israeli,
though,
so
right?
yeah.
Like imagine
wouldn't surprise me.
you somehow get on the dark web one day, right? And you're like, I'm gonna see what these red rooms are all about. And you find a red room, some fucking how, right? Suspension of disbelief here, right? You know, the red room video starts, and you're like, all right, time to watch someone get tortured to death. And you're like, okay. You're mentally preparing yourself. And this dude wearing this like fucking hockey mask comes on. He's like, before we begin tonight's entertainment, I would like to thank our sponsor, Ridge Wallet.
Just
Yeah.
really fucking confused.
Oh, that'd be something.
Not even the dark web can escape.
Indeed. You will be sponsored one way or another.
The sponsorship is inevitable. Submit.
Dreaded.
Cool.
Run from
That
it.
that sounds like an
The
80s or
subscription
90s
always arrives.
action parody.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
What was the Franchise Wars and Commando? I don't remember what the fucking movie is all of a sudden, and I want to go watch it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm gonna have to go to Google.
Yeah, blah 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 blah
Oh,
blah
Lord.
blah blah. Endless darkness, and then thoughts appear to my mind. Good luck. Yeah, imagine like you're dead though. You're in the endless void, and you're like, oh man, heaven wasn't real, hell wasn't real, nothing I did mattered. And then a god appears before you, and they're like, you know, you did a lot in your life, but you could have done more if you visited our sponsor, Skillshare.com.
To learn more skills.
With 10 minutes, you can learn a new skill today with 50% off with godskillshare.com.
Yeah. Don't forget to use code fuck you for a free
You're
month
dead,
off.
you fucking nugget.
Yeah. Code you died lol for 1 free month at checkout.
444.
It's actually just Callie. She went independent and has to be
She
sponsored by
went
these companies.
independent.
Yeah. So now she relies on fucking sponsorships.
I dig it.
Yeah.
If that means we're getting a Mori Calliope hero in Raid Shadow Legends, which they would absolutely probably do if they were
That would
ever
be
given
based.
the opportunity.
Yeah, well, I mean, given the opportunity, I'd play Raid Shadow Legends just for that.
Just to get the
Unlock it
more...
and then just immediately delete it.
Oh yeah, max level her, get the max emotions with her, and then delete it. Yeah, I dig it.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm
So anyway, Logan, wake up! Breakfast is ready. Give me 5 minutes.
Logan
oh,
Paul.
Man.
Oh god, no. Get away from the suicide
God,
I heard
force.
Jesus
the
Christ,
voice
no.
of a kid. And he's like, "Oh man, definitely not me anymore." And then I looked at my memories and I remembered everything that happened in my life since I was born, including my birth. I now have
Amazing.
mental trauma.
Unfortunate. But the price we have to pay to live in a society.
Indeed. My father was Lord Voldemort. I was indifferent to this fact. Yeah, if it wasn't a dream, I was happy I wasn't dead anymore. And someone put me in the
terrorist.
universe of Harry Potter. But Voldemort is one of the most idiotic villains. My mother is Bellatrix Lestrange, the mad woman who I surprisingly owe my life. You see, Voldemort wanted a child, but he needed a female. So when I was born male, thank God for small mercies, he told Bellatrix to get rid of me. The mad woman, in spite of herself, couldn't kill her own child. So she sent me to the children's home in London. Ironic? Maybe. But I was still alive thanks to her actions. That's how I knew I was in the Harry Potter universe. Duh. Blah 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 blah, minor, manor, memories, blah blah blah, child's home. Blah 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 blah, I'm in the child's home, blah blah blah, I'm wearing clothes. And then I looked at the newspaper and I was like, what? 30th of May 2006. So I was born after Voldemort's resurrection. This means my father is dead and the knowledge of HP verse won't help me. Oh shit. And then I looked at the other headline, and what I saw shocked me to the core. Tony Stark presents new weapon to help the military against increasing number of CIA-funded terrorists. What?
Wait.
Oh,
Wait.
That would have been the most
Oh.
honest news broadcast ever.
Never mind. Yeah.
It would have
Was Sneaky
broadcasted for
Edition.
like 10 seconds and then it would mysteriously
well,
go
okay,
offline.
look, hold on. Everyone knows that every modern terrorist group is funded by the CIA.
I mean, yeah. But still.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. No news outlet would ever actually say that.
Well, of course.
Motherfucker, I was drinking at the shark joke, at the share joke.
Skill share joke. Yeah.
You could have gained more skill thanks to our sponsor, Skillshare.
Yeah, or if you use our sponsor Skillshare, use code SneakyDevil. You can learn how to drink properly without
Not an
fucking.
ad, could be an ad. Skillshare has sponsored me to teach you weaklings how to drink properly. Step 1, acquire a liver. Step 2, implant liver. Step 3, marvel at the abomination you have become. Step 4, drink.
Cheers, I'll drink to that, bro.
Exactly. Step 5, get drunk.
Fuck.
Here to give us an example is this man, who's
Yeah,
regretting his
baby.
life
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah, before joining the Sneaky Devil podcast, I had no idea how to drink. But now, after using code Sneaky, I have learned how to drink. Truly the miracles of science.
Yes, indeed. And with my easy to understand 900-hour program, you too can learn.
I forgot how expensive some of those are.
900-hour program. So yeah, anyway, Tony Stark, blah blah blah. Green Sasquatch in Canada. Oh my god, it's the Hulk. Dear God, what the hell? I'm in the MCU as well? Why is the MCU crossed over with Harry Potter? Why am I his son?
Why is this a stupid story allowed to exist on the internet?
Wow,
Because
this thought would
reasons.
probably have made most people nervous and scared. I was not one of the people who'd be nervous and scared by ending up in a mishmash of the Harry Potter MCU universe. Even though I was weak now, I would not be going down without a fight. I was going to do everything I could to escape death in this cursed universe, and for that I needed power. Oh
Wait,
no,
would
I was
he
thinking like
fly
Voldemort.
from death?
So, and this is what I didn't really get right at the end, where it's like, oh my god, I'm thinking like Voldemort. It's like, bro, you're in the MCU universe, like, you're in the MCU, like, you have to be dumb to be self-inserted into the MCU and be like, I am not going to do everything in my abilities to gain power, like...
Damn, bro. Were you born
there is
stupid, or did you learn how to
so
be?
much world-ending shit going on. You don't have to even be involved in fighting it. It's just a matter of, like, you have to be strong enough to not be one of those fucking cars that gets yeeted while you're driving down the highway one day because someone decided to sweep the death laser across the highway as they were fighting the reborn son of Jesus who was brainwashed by Hydra. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that what you consider Bucky? So I don't
What?
think I'd consider him that.
I mean, if you consider him Jesus, go ahead. You do you, man.
I was saying, I was asking if you considered him that, because I was kind of confused.
I didn't even say Bucky. I was just using that as a random example of like what a generic Marvel Universe plot would be.
You know what? I'm fairly certain that there is probably a comic like that.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
The
Kinghead ass.
The bottom
I'm
of the barrel
sorry,
has been
man.
scraped so many times.
We covered 3 whole stories today, but now it's time to piece the fuck out. Not in slightly because I have drunk like 9
I have
shots.
drunk Sneaky Devil 2021.
Yes. I have consumed the liquid that enables inebriation mode.
I'm going to go consume dinner.
I'm kind of hungry
Amazing.
now.
Go make yourself one of those burritos.
I
or
would say,
something.
Sneaky, go make yourself a grilled cheese
I'm actually out
and
of
make sure you
burrito
put a glass
now.
of water by the bed.
Oh, shame.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's unfortunate, yeah.
Have you tried not doing that?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see everyone next time on Friday at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Probably won't be there, but yeah. I
If
suppose.
you're watching this on YouTube, do the thing where you hit the like button, because apparently YouTube thinks that means you enjoyed this content and you think other people will too. So hitting the like button is a vital substance until we can get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, which is also
cool.
a vital substance which you should definitely help us out in our goal of doing, because there is nothing like a fanfiction podcast without shilling and selling out.
Hell yeah.
So we'll see everyone next time, because there is always more, and it does always get worse.